basketball coverage is sponsored by Lipitor, Chevy, Subway Restaurants, and by Reebok ZigTech.
Welcome back. 1-point game. Xavier with the lead. Moments ago, head coach Frank Martin addressed his Kansas State squad.
Selfish, bad offense leads to trouble. Now, we're lucky that we started the game off the right way. So we're right there. All we got to do is play it like we're supposed to play it, and we'll be fine. But you can't do that at this time of the year, man. You cannot play that way at this time of the year. That is silly. Selfish and silly. Do it right. Come on. Let's go.
Selfish, bad offense.
Well, now you know why Kansas State plays so hard throughout the year. You don't want to listen to that at halftime. Bottom line is, Frank's right. Coming down, taking bad shots, that gives Xavier a chance to get into transition and allow Terrell Holloway as well as Jordan Crawford to bear down on you and score.
All right, here is the in-game box score powered by CBS College Sports Network, cable's home for the NCAA tournament.
And it's all about the transition game. Bad shots on one end. That's the first pass on a fast break on the other. Holloway and Crawford taking full advantage. Also, from a free throw standpoint, 13 free throw attempts, 9 makes by Xavier. That's what's got them the lead.
Clemente to the basket. He's playing with a strained neck, suffered at the end of the first half, and he lays that one in as Xavier turns it over. Cologne picked up the foul prior to that basket.
And again, we're talking about the free throws. Xavier 9 of 13 from the line. Kansas State only 1 of 2. Remember, Kansas State leads the nation in free throw attempts per game at about 30.
Crawford rises and hits. 34-33. And Jordan Crawford with 10 points.
You heard Frank Martin say, fortunately, they played well enough in the first half to get it started the right way. That means they didn't have a situation where they got a huge hole to climb out of. Close game situation, almost start from scratch here in the second half.
Clemente popping out, dumps it down, power dribble, Kelly hands it off, nice, and one, Luis Cologne.
And that was the antithesis of the selfish basketball Frank Martin talked about. Here, totally unselfish. Kelly has a shot, but a better shot right here for Cologne. They got the message.
Very good point, partner, as Cologne goes to the line. Will not add the free throw. Love comes up with the rebound. Jackson picked up the foul for Xavier, his second. And now a whistle. Elbow thrown. And it's on Cologne. That's his third.
And you got to wonder, throwing an elbow and the ball is not even in the front court. Is Cologne trying to send a message, or did he have brain lock?
Let's see if that makes Love back down. Crawford, he won't back down. Left hand to the bucket. And the rebound goes to Curtis Kelly.
And see what you get with Jordan Crawford on shots like that. A little feast or famine, a little bit out of control right there.
Pulling wide open. Long rebound, Clay, Sutton, and a new shot clock for Kansas State. Clemente off the dribble to the basket. Beautiful. Clemente with 8 points. 37-34, Kansas State down by 1 at the break, but they're playing with a great intensity level here to start the second half. It's been an up and down game for both of these teams. Frank Martin's Kansas State Wildcats led by 15 at one time. Xavier reeled them in. to take a 1-point lead at the break, but Kansas State, after a very emotional halftime breach by Martin, now up in front 37-34.
And one of the reasons that they've been able to get this lead is because they took Frank Martin's words to heart, started playing unselfish basketball instead of quick shots, bad shots, which led to transition for Xavier. And when Holloway and Crawford for Xavier get you in transition, you're in trouble.
And Sutton called for the reach-in foul. Frank Martin leading K-State into the Sweet 16 for the first time in more than 20 years. He's advanced to the NCAA tournament for the second time in his 3-year career, and the winner of this game, will take on Butler, who beat Syracuse, the top seed in the West. Inside Love, great catch. Had it stripped out of his hands, no call. Cologne. Nice recovery.
Well, again, Xavier brings 4 up, and then the lob, and a nice block from behind. You would think that Jason Love would go strong to the basket with both hands instead of trying to dunk it with one.
Now Love across the lane, jump hook, got it.
Nifty move by Jason Love off the bounce. Turn and face.
Love with 4 points. Pulling, pushing off. Inside, block. Pulling again. Hit.
Great defensive play, but still offensive rebounding by Kansas State. Second chance. And they make it count.
Pulling to 13. And a reach and foul on Pullen, and that'll be his 3rd.
But here you see a terrific block right here, only to allow Kansas State to get possession. And Pullen makes that second chance count, as we mentioned. But here with the 3rd foul, Jacob Pullen has to go to the bench. And that's a lot of scoring that you're going to miss.
Averaging 19 a game. 4-point lead for Kansas State, so Pullen goes out at about the 6:22 mark. As you take a look at the foul trouble for K-State, a lot of people with 3. Holloway, he was terrific in the first half with 11. Love posting across the lane, shows it, rejected out of bounds. Curtis Kelly says, get it out of here.
But when you're Jason Love, you got to realize that the help side comes very quickly. You got to make a quick move, because you know once you get that fake up and under, the defense is coming. If you're not going to make a quick move, then you better look to dish it to the open man.
Kelly, 4th in the Big 12 in block shots this season. McLean handling, and finally hands it off. And another foul called on the baseline. This time it'll go against Love. 4-point game. (40-36) Kansas State. And don't forget, folks, tonight's game is brought to you in HD TV by LG. Life's good.
Well, if you're Kansas State, thank goodness for offensive rebounds. 10 offensive rebounds, 16 second chance points for Kansas State. Otherwise, they're -10 with regard to free throw attempts and -8 as far as free throw makes. So Xavier getting their way on the free throw line. Kansas State just 1 of 3, Xavier 9 of 13. Kansas State with 6 more makes from the field.
Chris Merriweather in the game now for Kansas State. Clemente to the basket. The runner off, got glass and in. Clemente using that feline quickness to get into the paint. And now the Wildcats take a 42-36 lead.
And Clemente asserting himself, couldn't come at a more perfect time with Jacob Pullen on the bench with 3 fouls.
Crawford picks up his dribble. McLean backs his way in across the lane. A brick. Love with a rebound. Out of bounds. No call.
And you're right about it being physical underneath right there. Ball goes up. You know, you got to be a man to go after it.
Crawford inbounding on the baseline. Baseline Lions, and right at it home. Mark Lyons with his first field goal of the evening. And we now have a 42-38 game.
And Lyons saddled with foul trouble, only played 3 minutes in the first half, picked up 3 fouls.
Irving trying to feed the post. The kick. Clemente. Batted around. Picked up. Here comes Lyons. In and out. Down the lane. Irving with the rebound. Clemente the other way. Down the lane. The finger roll is pure. Man, this kid is fun to watch.
He certainly is. And again, picks up the slack left by his running partner, Jacob Pullen. Pullen with 10 points in the first half on the bench with fouls. It's time for Clemente to step up, and he's done it.
Inside, and Crawford gets the roll. 4-point game. Clemente with 12 points now. He had 4 at the break. Crawford with 12. He averages 20. Kelly in the hole. Quick turn. Reverse. Out of bounds, and will stay right here. And the tournament's up.
Well, Butler in that outstanding upset against Syracuse in the first game here, making history. 2 #1 seeds eliminated prior to the Elite Eight. More history. And West Virginia, the only Big East team remaining. And that's because, not of conference, because they're good. It's all about teams right now.
Here's Clemente, almost had it picked. Holloway, baseline color, Merriweather, and he can't get the roll. Love doing a nice job rebounding the basketball. Jackson, good. 1-point game, folks. They are getting up and getting down in Salt Lake. 13:34 to play, second half. K-State by a point. And Sunday on The Amazing Race, teams plunge into an exotic getaway, but there could be trouble in paradise. New episode of The Amazing Race, Sunday only. CBS. 44-43, Kansas State with the lead. But it's been an up and down game. We've had 3 ties and 5 lead changes. Kansas State is led by as many as 15, Xavier by 2. Kelly driving. Pulling back in with 3 fouls. Fires on the baseline. And the rebound going to Andrew Taylor. Here comes Lyons. I love posting. He's got 6 points and 5 rebounds. Jump hook. And no good. And a foul, Jackson.
Well, the second half has been Denny Clemente picking up the slack. Pullen spending a lot of time on the bench with fouls. And Clemente obviously stepping up in transition in the half court, being aggressive, going to the basket.
And Jackson picks up his 3rd. He heads out of the game. Love out of the game as well. Redford is in, along with Crawford back in. Clemente guarded by Redford. Now he can take him off the dribble at will. Kelly, the kick. Clemente wants a screen. And they make him go east-west. Good job by Xavier. And a foul inside. Sutton pushed in the back.
Yeah, if you want to contain Denny Clemente, you have to make sure he can't turn the corner on you.
And Crawford picks up the 2nd foul. Inside they go again. And one.
Talk about unselfish basketball as opposed to the selfish basketball Frank Martin talked about at the halftime. Here, the look inside. Pulling with a nice job, just recognizing the high percentage shot inside. Dominique Sutton finishes. And again, we talk about Kansas State getting a message at halftime, delivered forcefully by their coach.
They throw away the offensive rebound. Xavier, Redford with a nice recovery. Redford's a shooter. but he hadn't been able to get any good looks this evening.
Look at the step out there by Curtis Kelly. Right now, he's got a guard, Mark Lyons. Nice job there, containing Lyons until the help comes.
7 to shoot. Crawford. He's got to hurry. 4 to shoot. Crawford and foul. Man, is it getting physical out there now, Lynn.
And I'll tell you what, K-State has a recognized time and score. Look at the shot clock. You don't bail Jordan Crawford out on that shot.
Under 12 to go. 3-point lead. Xavier at the line. 46-43, Kansas State at 2 versus Xavier. A 6. Under 12 to go. Gus Johnson, Len Elmore with you. From the West Regional Semifinal, the winner of this game advances to take on Butler, who defeated top-seeded Syracuse in our first game of the evening. Three-point game. Kansas State with the lead. Crawford at the line.
14th free throw attempt by Xavier. 9 makes. Crawford not able to take advantage thus far of that bailout by the Kansas State defense as the shot clock ran down.
Crawford with 13 points tonight on 6 of 14 shooting. He has not hit a three-point shot in 4 tries.
Xavier back in the zone right now, trying to change defenses, grab control.
Clemente 3 and hits. Clemente really warming up in the second half. He has 15. Crawford, Redford, and the long rebound, saved from going out of bounds. Great job by Andrew Taylor. Redford again. This time it's pure. Redford averaged 36 a game in high school in Frankenmuth, Michigan. He's missed parts of 6 games because of a hip injury, but he is the designated shooter. And now Xavier getting into his zone. Baseline, Samuels, and 1 on the power jam.
Well, that's an answer. Redford knocking down the 3. Kansas State comes right back, goes to their front line, the power game. And that's what you have to do. You got to be able to answer. Xavier tries to climb back into it, but you're talking about Brad Redford, second in the A-10 in 3-point field goal percentage shooting. And 90, actually now 100 of his 107 career field goals are from beyond the arc.
Samuels adds a free throw. Samuels with 8 points. McLean picked up the foul, his third. 52-47. The K-State fans rising to their feet now. Holloway. And a whistle and foul. So let's take a look at the Infinity Coaches Spotlight. Frank Martin, he won 21 games his first year, 22 his second year, 28 this season.
Well-deserved Big 12 Coach of the Year. Frank Martin, prior to his opportunity at Kansas State, known as a top-flight recruiter. And yesterday he said, you know, after getting congratulations from me, he told me that you're only as good as your staff. And he gave a lot of credit to the guys on his bench, particularly associate head coach Delonte Hill. He's a guy that will share the success, Frank Martin, and that's probably why he will continue to be successful.
But here's something even more interesting. Kansas State with 17 fouls already. So Xavier shooting 1-1 at the 10:44 mark of the second half. Xavier with 16 fouls.
And the cruel irony of this game for Kansas State, as we mentioned it before, you know, they lead the nation in free throw attempts. They've only had 4 in this game.
The winner here takes on Butler. Samuels 3. High bounce, batted out. Irving with the rebound. Kansas State continuing to do a good job on the offensive glass.
Well, they certainly have to, because they can't buy their way to the free throw line. Get those easy points that way if Xavier's the one get to the line with frequency.
Oh, not a good pass by Crawford.
Well, you give Irving some credit for the hustle right there.
10 minutes to go. Clemente, he's been a star. Irving, Samuels, and he shoveled his feet in trouble. 9 turnovers for K-State, 9 turnovers for Xavier.
Good thought, good look, bad execution. Coach knows it.
What a great night it's been here in Salt Lake City. 52-49, K-State with the lead. And Xavier chucks it out of bounds. The winner of this game will take on the Butler Bulldogs, who defeated a #1 seed this evening in the Syracuse Orangemen.
I'll tell you what, on the last play, Dante Jackson throws it to the official and ultimately out of bounds. But Chris Mack off the bench applauds Jackson for trying to make the extra pass. He knows his team needs to do that.
Pulling back in the game. Merriweather. Now pulling, mishandles, picks it up, and has it swiped. Saved by Crawford in the foul. That's a hustle play, but it's the 7th team foul against Xavier. And Kansas State will shoot free throw.
And as quickly as Chris Mack applauded Dante Jackson for that errant pass because he had the good intentions, here not very happy about this particular foul, although it was a foul based on effort going after the loose ball, but it's frustrating.
So Chris Merriweather will shoot 1 and 1. He's a 73% free throw shooter, 14 of 19 on the season. Merriweather has played in 31 games, started 2. He averages less than a point a game. Tuesday on CBS, the world's #1 assassin is out to get the head of NCIS. Don't miss TV's #1 drama, NCIS, Tuesday, only CBS. And don't smack me on the back of the head.
You mean you felt that, huh?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Both free throws good for Merriweather. 5-point game. Now K-State in a zone. Looks like a 1-2-2. Holloway. That one deflected by Pullen. Merriweather. Clemente! Kelly there for the stick back.
Excellent hustle by Kansas State to get those white shirts down there to get the offensive rebound.
Timeout, Xavier. Here come the Doberman.
AT&T.
Do it right. Come on.
Frank Martin's halftime speech and those very stern words are paying major dividends for him now. 56-49. K-State led by 15 in the first half and ended up trailing by 1 at the break. And they have Xavier confused now. Switching defenses. Inside, McLean. Outside, Lyons. And he turns it over again. Back-to-back turnover. And Irving gets a timeout. And they're going to get him out of the game. Here comes Pullen. All season, fans have submitted ideas to improve the fan experience. Now 64 will compete in the Coke Zero Brain Bracket. Decide who wins 10 grand. Vote at CokeZero.com.
And right during that tie-up and during the timeout, Frank Martin went crazy on Martavius Irving for burning that timeout, because right in front of Irving at half court where it was tied up, possession arrow was pointing in favor of Kansas State. So the timeout that he called was called unnecessarily. Might have burned one that they might use down the stretch.
There's a strip in the front court. Here's Lyons to the basket. And out of control. Lyons can't lay it in. He wants wanted a foul. Clemente again, high off the glass. Love picks up his 6th rebound. Crawford has not touched the ball. Inside, Love jams it down. Great look by Holloway.
Holloway much more under control right now, dribbling with his head up. And you see the K-State defense. A little miscommunication there as to what they were trying to do.
8 points for Love.
If you're Xavier, you'd like to see Terrell Holloway handling it more, penetrating more.
Pullen, he's lost his touch. Pullen has been in foul trouble. Now Holloway, and he's bumped and fouled and will go to the line. 56-51, back after this.
We take a look at the summary by half, and difference here. Xavier not turning the ball over as frequently. Obviously, you're taking a look at the field goal percentage. Kansas State shooting better, but most importantly, Kansas State listening to Frank Martin talking about selfish basketball. 6 assists on 10 field goals in this particular half. But it's Xavier staying in this game from the free throw line. 18th field goal free throw attempt. And they're +8 as far as free throws made.
Holloway missing the front end of a 1-and-1. Pullen feeds the post. Kelly, quick turn. Crawford with the rebound. Crawford has not been getting the touches, and he throws it away again. That's the second time on the break that we've seen Crawford try to feed a big, but they say it's last touch by Kansas State.
I'm not sure about that one. I think officials have to huddle right now. They will probably reverse this call. I guess they don't.
And Merriweather may have touched it.
I'll tell you what, though, it wasn't the issue of the pass. It was to whom he was throwing it. Taylor not really ready for that one.
Redford deep. And hits. Redford with 2 threes. And Xavier cuts it to 2.
That was a big call right there. Controversial, gives Xavier another chance at the basket, and Redford makes it count.
Brad Redford makes it a 56-54 game. Clemente stops and pops.
Oh, that was a tough shot.
17 for Denny. 4-point game as we hit the 6-minute mark. The winner to advance to the Elite Eight to take on Butler for a trip to Indy and the Final Four. Crawford. Oh! One-point game.
And when you're confused by the 2-3, who you gonna call? Jordan Crawford's zone buster.
58-57.
You can't even get close to a guy and guard him from there.
Across the lane, Kelly jump hook, no. And a whistle and foul, let's see. And that's gonna go against Kansas State. Wally Judge, and that's his 5th.
Huge turn of events for Kansas State negatively. And you take a look, Wally Judge gone. The foul's just mounting up for Kansas State. And the fact that Xavier was aggressive in coming back from that 15-point deficit in the first half and continued it here has created foul problems for Kansas State. We talk about the differential on the free throw line. It's usually Kansas State that gets to the line far more often than their opponents. This time the tables have been turned.
So Wally Judge leaves the game. He finishes with 4 points, all 4 coming in the first half. And now at the line, Andrew Taylor. As you take a look at his free throw percentage, 1-and-1, and he gets the first. And we're tied at 58. Don't forget, folks, the winner here will take on Butler, who knocked off top seed at Syracuse. Butler 1 game away from going back to Indianapolis, their home, to play in the Final Four. Second free throw, Taylor good. And Xavier takes the lead. 59-58. We've got a white knuckler here in Utah. Merriweather. Clemente pops out on the wing. Pullen, 5 of 12. He's tentative now. Pullen. 10 to shoot. Clemente. Here comes Cologne. Oh, he splits it. The floater. Got it.
Oh, man.
That's a point guard. 60-59.
That's a basketball player right there, folks. And remember, at the end of the first half, he took that last shot, banged his head or his neck against one of the cameramen on the side. Must have knocked some game into him.
Crawford. Love with the rebound. Big love. And Xavier takes a 1-point lead. 61-60.
After a slow start in the first half, Benny Clemente has come alive.
Pullen. Stop and start. Clemente again. Oh, and one. Possibly a 4-point play. Clemente.
Pullen gives it up, and Clemente knocks it down. Good byplay between the two of them, the two leaders of this team. Remember yesterday, Jacob Pullen talked about the fact that they got their teammates to play hard because after they lost to Kansas, they went to practice and they went at each other. And the teammates followed suit. And right now, playing with each other, Dennis Clemente picking it up.
He adds a free throw. K-State takes a 3-point lead, and you have to love Pullen and his effort because he knows that he doesn't have it going right now, so he's deferring to his teammates.
And remember what Frank Martin said in his halftime speech? Unselfish play, you can't play that way in this time of the year.
4:12 to go. Clemente with 23. He had 4 at the break. Holloway looking over to his coach, Chris Mack, for a play, and they're going to call a timeout. We'll reset. 4:02 to go, folks. 3-point ball game in Salt Lake. The game reset. Both teams with 2 timeouts. Both teams shooting 1-1. And the arrow favoring Kansas State. Xavier with the rock right now.
And Kansas State 1 foul away from putting Xavier in the double bonus. And with 2 timeouts remaining, by all rights, Kansas State should have 3 if Martavius Irving recognized that the possession arrow was pointing his way before he called timeout to avoid a tie-up.
Holloway, Jackson, McLean, Love, Crawford for Xavier. Holloway, high pick and roll, slicing, and traveling. 3:52 remaining. Back after this. Welcome back. 64-61 Kansas State. The game reset, each team with a couple of timeouts remaining. Both teams shooting 1-1. Gus Johnson, Len Elmore.
And Xavier staying in this ball game, even though they have been outshot from the field by 7. Kansas State with 7 more field goals made. But Xavier 7 of 14 from beyond the arc, 14 of 20 from the line, whereas Kansas State only 5 of 8 from the free throw line.
Clemente has been wonderful in this second half. The backdoor lob, nice catch, Kelly, and he's fouled. NCAA March Madness on Demand is streaming the men's Division I NCAA Championship online for free. Watch any game, anytime at NCAA.com.
And boy, we've seen it several times. How about the hands on Curtis Kelly, man? You just need to throw it up there. You know, I don't know what adhesive he's got on his fingers, but he goes up and he goes and gets it.
Kelly, first trip to the free throw line. This is the first.
Now, of course, he's probably got to take it off when he shoots the free throws.
And Kansas State as a team, 5 of 9 from the free throw line. Xavier 14 of 20.
And again, it bears repeating. Kansas State leads the nation in free throw attempts at about 30 per game. And they've only had 10 free throw attempts in this ball game.
So Kelly misses a pair. 64-61.
But 7 more field goals has got them this slim lead.
Kansas State back in the zone. It's caused Xavier some problems. They've thrown it away numerous times. Jackson, 14 turnovers for Xavier. Crawford, 8 to shoot as he backs it up. Here comes Love the screen. Crawford in the corner. Jackson lets it go and hits! And ties it at 64. Great set by the Musketeers, showing patience. And with under 3 minutes to go, we've got a tie game.
And Xavier shooting 8 of 15 from beyond the arc.
Baseline, the kick, Kelly, 16, got it. 10 points for Curtis Kelly. And Kansas State back up by 2.
Looking for a little bit of pressure here in the half court.
Holloway has to stay in control.
A little surprise pressure.
Crawford again. Oh! Another big-time J by the kid from Detroit. And Xavier up by 1. He has 19. Approaching the 2-minute mark. The winner to advance to the Elite 8. Pulling, driving. They've got to get it to Clemente. Inside, Kelly. And a blocking foul.
Xavier hanging around and actually taking the lead right here on this 3 by Jordan Crawford. 9 for 16 from beyond the arc. Throughout the season, teams have shot on average 33% from beyond the arc against Kansas State. Xavier living by the 3 right now.
Look at his feet. Almost falling out of bounds for Crawford.
Yeah, and if he had stood flat-footed, his feet would have been on the sideline out of bounds.
67-66 Xavier on top of Kansas State. And what a game it's been. We've had 5 ties, 10 lead changes. Kansas State is led by as many as 15 in the first half. Xavier all the way back to take a 1-point lead. They've led by as much as 2. And right now, Curtis Kelly is at the free throw line, shooting 1 to tie it up.
And what do you think Terrell Holloway's telling Curtis Kelly?
Big fella, don't get nervous. Ice water.
Not even scraping iron. But this has been a game where the numbers have been upside down, as we mentioned. Xavier tremendous from beyond the arc. 9 of 16, and also getting a lot of free throws, although Kansas State's starting to catch up. They're the team #1 in the country in free throw attempts. Usually they live off of those points from the line.
So he misses the second. Our game tied at 67. Here we go, folks. A trip to the Elite 8 on the line. Butler awaits. Holloway. Crawford, whoa. Unforced errors.
Oh, that's about anxiety right there. A little too anxious to do what he does best. Right there, never got a handle on it. Never saw the ball come into his hands. It's all about possession, man. Catch first, move second.
Here's Clemente over the midcourt line. 19 points in the second half for Denny. He fires a high arcer. Loose. Ball squirts out. Lob dives. It's saved. Here comes Pullen.
How about the hustle of Jamar Samuels keeping that thing alive?
Also Dominique Sutton grabbing it. Pullen with a lead off the heel. 67-67, a minute to go. Crawford! And they'll slow it up. 50 seconds to play.
Not a bad play by Crawford. He's been hitting those. Now he's got a 2-for-1 situation where they'll get the ball back, provided they get the rebound on a miss or even on a Kansas State score.
46.5 to play in the second half. Kansas State Xavier tied at 67. Coming up, the stretch right after this. 46.5 seconds remaining in the second half. Second-seeded Kansas State, sixth-seeded Xavier, the rematch of a game that was played on December 8th in Manhattan, Kansas, when Kansas State won at 71-56. Different story right now. We're tied up with 46.5 to go.
Yeah, and really what it's come down to, Xavier has more than matched Kansas State on the boards. They've done a terrific job there, shooting the ball extremely well from beyond the arc, even though they're at a deficit as far as field goals made. But right here, you want Denny Clemente to handle the ball. He's your creator. Remember, if Kansas State gets fouled, they got the double bonus.
Pullen is 5 of 13, but he has the heart of a lion as they give it to their leader, who backs it up. Runs a pick and roll with Clemente. Pullen stops. 7, lets it go, and buries it! Oh! 20 seconds ago, 70-67. Holloway.
Xavier's not calling timeout.
Holloway to the basket, short. Love, up and in. And we've got a 1-point game. 12.1 to go. 70-69. Elite 8 appearance on the line. All right, Greg, as we reset it one more time for you with 12.1 to go. Each team with the timeout. Xavier with 10 team fouls.
And Gus, I like the move from Chris Mack. Didn't call a timeout because he knew Kansas State wouldn't foul. And they got the quick, too. Now, Xavier can try for that steal, maybe foul, and even if the free throws are made, it's still a one-possession ball game.
And they give it to Pullen, and finally he's fouled. Holloway lets some time off the clock. 9.7 to go. As Frank Martin, so passionate during the halftime speech, but honest to his kids.
And again, even if Pullen makes both of these free throws, it's still a one-possession ball game. 9.7 seconds left. Xavier's got time to at least tie this thing. And if he misses, chance to win.
First one good. Pullen. 1 of 1 from the line. Anya Martin.
You can tell a coach's wife, man.
Yes, you can.
Down the stretch, they're feeling it just like the coaches are. See those hands clenched.
Deep breath for Pullen. Big free throw here.
On a make or even a miss, Xavier's going to call a timeout, set up that last one.
And he gets both. 72-69, timeout Xavier. 9.7 to go. Back to Salt Lake after this. .7 seconds remaining. 72-69, Kansas State. Xavier out of timeouts. What do you do here, Lynn? You got to go the length of the floor. Do you go for a 3 or a quick 2?
I'm going, you got to go for a 3. Because of the way that Kansas State is shooting free throws, you get a quick 2 and you foul. They make them both. You're still going to have to do that.
And that's the kid.
And he's been hot.
And he's been hot from deep.
The decision has to be Kansas State, knowing that Xavier has to shoot the 3. If they don't get a shot going, and if it's under 3 seconds, do you foul?
Here comes Holloway with the screen. Oh, he's fouled! On the shot!
But not in the act of shooting, was what I was going to say.
And he's going to shoot 3.
And see, this is why coaches don't want to foul when they have a 3-point lead. They don't want to foul. He fouled him before that. Did you see that? He fouled him before, and there was no call.
And he's the last guy, if you're Kansas State, that you want at the line. Holloway leads the A-10 in free throw shooting, 85.2. At one time, he had hit 19 in a row this year.
I know exactly what Frank Martin was doing, and they tried to foul him before getting in shooting position.
First one good.
You take a look right here, ball comes down right there, freeze it. There's the first foul, as we saw Clemente grab him, and now they didn't call that one. The second foul should have never occurred.
Second free throw. Good. 72-71.
And now you see why coaches are loath to foul in that situation where they think you'll put them on the line for 2, you get the ball, and you're up 1.
You are absolutely right. That is a huge dilemma.
And the biggest reason is because maybe the officials don't see it as they didn't see it here. The strategy pretty much is if they make it, Xavier makes it, then Frank Martin's got to call a timeout, or he's calling a play, make or miss, right here. But
Take
here,
another look at the play.
yeah, here's the problem. They tried to foul right here. You see that? He grabs him. Official standing right there, doesn't call it. He sees him put both arms around him. Right there, no call. And now, that second foul should not have occurred. Merriweather should have laid off. Take another look right here. Look at Clemente, grab him. Both hands around him. You see that? That's a foul. No call. And then Merriweather with the foul. Huge no call right there. Both hands around him, as you see right there. That's what Frank Martin was trying to do. If they call that foul, only 2 shots, Kansas State gets a chance to get possession of the ball, get fouled, and maybe end this ball game.
Holloway, 5 seconds to go for the tie. And he got it. We're tied at 72. Kelly Olimba, Sutton, Clemente. They want Clemente. They give it to Pullen. Pullen in the front court. 2 to shoot. Out! And we're heading for overtime. In Salt Lake.
And Frank Martin is beside himself. He's letting the official on the play know that you missed that call, and he absolutely missed it. This is not a time, well, this is the play right here, Pulling with a good opportunity right here, just offline. Good defense, though, by Lions.
72-72, overtime coming up next.